All right, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Rotary Club of North Texas, E Club. And let me make sure my cursor works. Welcome to all guests and those viewing. Can we get someone to do the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I'll do it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much for that. Can we get someone to do our invocation?
As we gather here today as members of Rotary, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community, keeping in mind always the enduring values of life, exerting our efforts in those areas on those things upon which future generations can build with confidence. Let us continue to strive to make a better world.
Thank you very much for that. And I'll be reading our vision statement. Together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Well, folks, welcome to our meeting for June, and our theme for this month is Rotary Fellowship. Do anybody have any projects that they've been participating in?
I just wanted to let you know I book speakers into next May.
Okay. Wow. Do you
That's
have
amazing. Thank you.
The district governor visit off schedule?
I didn't know what you're asking.
When the district governor comes to visit, did I already submit that to you?
Yeah, it's on my schedule.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're amazing. Thank you. All right. Was there anyone else who had any fellowship they participated in this month?
All right. I heard from Linda called. She's trying to log in. She said David slipped, so she was dealing with that.
Oh boy.
Just letting you know.
Oh, understood. All right. So as we wrap up this month, it's Men's Mental Health. And with mental health, we do partner with the Suicide Prevention and Brain Health Rotary Club. It's an e-club. So if you do want to know more information, here's their email and their website. All right, so we'll keep pushing. So any old business that anyone wants to discuss?
Police say that they are reopening a cold case involving a 12-year-old girl who died nearly 57 years ago. Cold case.
Right. There we go. I got it.
It's all good. Okay. All right, so part of our fundraising we do is we give back, and one of the things that we do is raise for jewelry. Lady Jane, she does jewelry, and here is her website. As Ms. Linda always say, make sure you put in Rotary E Club in the notes so we can get credit for that sale. Outside of that, let's keep it pushing. So any announcements?
I haven't been on in a couple days, but I just want to welcome our newest member. Daniel Long is on the line with us. Daniel is a transfer from the Pioneer Club in Plano. He is a longtime Rotarian, multiple past president, and we're really excited to have him as part of our club. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you very much. I enjoy working with the club that I'm a member of and also the district, as you know.
All right. Happy to have you on board.
Well, thank you, sir.
Okay, let's keep it going. All right, so Mr. Howard, would you like to introduce our guest?
Sure. Our guest is Barry Labov, and he does programs on business, and he's an experienced speaker. I spoke to him earlier today. And Barry, I'm going to ask everyone to mute their mics while he's speaking. If he has a Q&A or questions, turn your mic back on. But this way we don't get the background noises that we had while he's presenting. And Daniel, Barry, most people speak 20 to 30 minutes and do a Q&A. And it's all up to you what you do. So I'm going to mute my mic and welcome you as our guest speaker.
Well, thank you very much. And I appreciate being here today. I'll get I'm trying to make sure I have it set up. Do you see my screen there?
Now we do. Now we
All
do.
right, great. So I love what I do, and it's because I focus on one word, and that's differentiation. Now, it's a tough word to pronounce. It's, I don't know, 16 syllables, 15 letters. Most people go different, and I'm going, okay, whatever. It's exciting because today in the world of AI and commoditization, we have to differentiate. So I wrote a book on it. I have a podcast. It's free. There are no commercials. It's called Difference Talks. You will go to the podcast, like I said, for free. We have 2,100 subscribers, and it's growing. We grow about 100 to 200 a week. It's all about people who are doing something unique, that are standing out, instead of just trying to fit in, okay? So I'll share this. We also have a newsletter that we send out every 2 weeks. I'm happy to send that to you. It's called Why to Wow. So I'll share with you what differentiation is about. My goal for you, Rotarians here, is I hope it influences you personally as well as professionally. Because if we can stand out and live up to what we are uniquely and distinctively, life is beautiful. So way back when I had hair, I had a song on American Bandstand, and I think only like 2 of you would remember American Bandstand, but I had a song on there, and we did pretty well. We had a video on MTV. I actually had hair at that point. Things were going great. It was really going really well. And we then started a company. I started to look at marketing and branding, and I created a book called The Power of Differentiation. Now, here's what I think is kind of fascinating. The book originally, folks, was all about something that sounds very obvious. It's like, oh, wow, you stand out, you have a unique product and brand, and gee, you'll sell more product. But you know what happened? Right in the middle of me writing it, there was this thing called COVID-19. Over 100 million, I'll repeat that, everybody, over 100 million Americans walked off their jobs in a 1-year period during COVID-19. So what does that mean to us? Well, what it meant to me, folks, is if we do not differentiate our company in the minds and the hearts of our employees, they're going to walk off the job. And if they don't care, why do we expect them to do a good job? Why do we expect them to even stay in the company? Let alone, why do we expect them to bring their friends on board? So the subtitle of my book became, at that point, Win Hearts, Minds, and Market Share. And that's what we have to do in our lives, by the way, not just our business, but also in our business. If our employees do not believe in their hearts that we're doing something of value, something that has some level of significance, and if their minds don't go, you know what, this actually makes sense, we're actually doing something that is different, why in the world would they do a good job? And why would our customers, when they interact with our employees, think that we're doing anything other than mediocre pablum? So it's a big deal, all right? And it's something that can really help us. So I'm going to cover, because I have a background as a washed up, that wasn't my phone, by the way. I have, as a history, as a washed up, has-been musician, I call it the greatest hits of differentiation. And by the way, my songs sold well under 1 million copies.
Could you just tell us what songs they were?
Well, I said well under 1 million copies, Howard, so nobody's heard of them. But no, I had a song published by Barry Manilow song published by Natalie Cole and one by Billy Joel. But they didn't make us any money, but it was okay. Now, here's an example. I had a client call me up, and he was one of my beloved clients, and it's a story from my book, The Power of Differentiation. And he said, hey, I'd love you to talk to my new leadership group. I said, great. He said, let's just do a phone call. It'll be great. So I said, okay. So I get on the phone. He says, hey, I want you to meet our group. This is Barry. And, he wants to hear what's going on. So the first person was the sales VP. And he said, we're producing something here that's overpriced. We don't really compete well in the market. We're really a subpar product. I said, okay. Next person is the engineering VP, who had been there 30 plus years. He said, our product has a lot of flaws in it. It's run of the mill. And then the final person of the three said, I'm the brand new manufacturing VP. We have a lot of quality control problems. So, we're really not producing a really good product. So my client, great guy, he says, hey, Barry, what are you hearing from my people? And I said, I'm hearing that not one of you would buy your own product. That's what I'm hearing. And so often, folks, when we talk about what we do and what we produce, if you listen to us, would you buy the product? I mean, think about how we talk about what we do and how we do it. So what I've helped companies with is understand that, wait a minute, we're doing some pretty interesting things. Oh, by the way, that company I just shared the story about, they were 126 years old. Now, I want you to think about this, folks. 126 years old. And my client said, yeah, so what about that? I said, well, let's see. You've survived 2 world wars. You have endured the Great Depression, at least a half dozen recessions. And folks, I'm glad you're all sitting there. I can tell you're sitting down. I said, you have also endured 2, not 1, 2 worldwide pandemics. Because they went through the Spanish flu back in 1918. I said, you know what? I bet you're doing something unique, something of value. And I'm trying to talk to all of you Rotarians right now. We're doing something of value at our companies. I mean, come on, right? You're not going to be in business for 126 years or even 126 days. So the enemies that are in our way, number one, the commodity monster. We are pressured every day to look like, act like, taste like, and spell, smell, and price like the competition. Now look at those tattoos. One of those is my client, Harley Davidson. Now, who in the world tattoos a commodity on a body part? Nobody does. So if we treat ourselves like a commodity, we're fooling ourselves. And if we act like that, our employees will follow along. Now, do you remember this beautiful young woman? Cindy Crawford. Okay, I see nodding of heads. When I'm in a big keynote audience, I'll say, hey, what do you see there? I know that most of you are muted, but what do you see there in that photo? I'm normally going to hear the word mole. She has a mole, right? Well, she was in competition with some of the most beautiful women in the world. And her handlers said, you know what, Cindy, you have to remove that mole. And if you do, you will be gorgeous. But somebody stepped up and said, no, you can't do it. You cannot do it. And that person literally saved her career. That person was her mom. Now, here's a quote from her mom. Her mom said, if you remove that mole, it will leave a scar. And I want you to think about it, folks. If you remove Chris, Howard, any of you, what you're doing that's unique, it might leave a scar. When you remove the things that make what you do distinctive, you'll lose the hearts, minds, and market share. That's what will happen. And the final thing is, one of the enemies is myopia. And what am I talking about here? Why do I call that as one of our enemies? It's because we're too close to see what we do that's great. So as a washed up rock and roll guy, one thing I learned from the Rolling Stones was they used to get into arguments way back in England, way back in the 1960s, over what song was good and what song stunk. And it was because they were too close. They couldn't see the beauty of some of their songs. So what they did was something brilliant. They went to the pubs, to the bars, and they said, okay, lads, bring your guitars. We're going to go in and we're going to play a few songs at the local pub and see how they go over, because they wanted to get that third party view of what they did because they were too close. And one song that some of you aging people like me may recall, it was a song and it had a weird bass guitar part. It was kind of strange. And the guys in the band, most of them did not like the song. They said it's stupid and the bass player keeps playing the wrong notes. But the bass player said, no, I think it's kind of cool. It's unique. Well, that song, I Can't Get No Satisfaction, was loved by the audiences. And they stopped and they said, you know what? We've been looking at this song the wrong way. We haven't appreciated what makes it unique. So what we have to realize is one of the enemies is we're too close to what we do. I'll give you an example. I walked through the factory of a family business in Pennsylvania, Warren, Pennsylvania, in steel country. Brilliant engineering company, commodities. They wouldn't do anything like that. They did things that were unique. They were not a commodity company. And I sat down with the VP of engineering, family member, and I said, hey, what are you working on? He said, well, we spent $2 million on this brand new thing. And what it is, it's a man lid. They call it man lid. Sounds like a gender thing, but it's not. It's not a gender thing. It's a man lid or manhole cover for a stainless steel trailer. They call it man lids because it's a lid. You open it up. Okay. I said, so what's special? He goes, well, we put $2 million into it. We spent 5 years. I said, okay. What else? He goes, well, we made it look kind of old fashioned because, you know, they've been around forever. So I said, okay.
In the shower.
Yeah, somebody needs to go mute their somebody please make, thanks, Mr. Burns. So I said, what else about it? And he says, well, there's this little latch that we put on it, and it helps to save lives because inside those stainless steel trailers are flammable chemicals and they could explode. So what happens is our engineers designed this latch to activate in times of high pressure so that if somebody's going to lift it up, the latch activates and stops. It will not let that manlet cover open. Now, I'm sure some of you are falling asleep and say, why do I care? I go, why would I care? He goes, because we're saving lives. So I said, okay. I said, great. Now, everybody, I hope you're listening. I said, okay, this is a genius idea. So how much more do you charge for this? And he goes, we don't. We don't charge at all for it. It's okay. How do you market this? How do you let people know? And he says, well, I'm an engineer. I figure that people ought to know what we're doing. And if they really care about living and not getting their head blown off, they'll know about this. I said, okay. I said, all right. I said, how have you shared this with the people at your company? How do you help them know that they're saving lives? He goes, I just figured that that's up to them. So, okay. I said, final question. What do you call this ingenious invention that activates and stops people from dying? What have you named it? And he said, well, I just call it latch. And if you think about it, how many things do we do at our companies that are unique? And we just call them latch. We don't give them a name. Real quick story for our Rotarians. Apple had an MP3 player. Does anybody realize they had an MP3 player that they developed? Many of you will say no. That's because they named it the iPod. And since they named it the iPod, virtually no one bought an MP3 player because they wanted the iPod. It was an MP3 player. So naming your brilliant device. So here's some things that are very important. Number one, differentiation is discovered. It's not created. So for instance, my company will go into other businesses and we're going to find what makes them unique and differentiated. We're not going in to go create the differentiation. We're going to find it. It's like the mole on Cindy Crawford. We're not going to create a new mole. We're going to say, wait a minute, you have a mole. You're beautiful. None of the other female models has a mole. It is unique. We got to look at it. Just being real. That's what we do. We go in. And what we find is that what's right there in front of us often is the genius. And Michelangelo had this amazing quote. Every block of stone has a statue inside it, and it is the task of the sculptor to discover it. It's already in there. It's a block of stone. We look at it as stone, right? The genius says, no, there's something beautiful in there. We'll go in, we'll look inside factories, we'll go into service centers, and we're finding things that are right in front of people. If you look at some of these technical renderings that we have right here, look at the genius inside of these products. You would never know that's what's going on. Look at that pump on the left. It's just a pump, right? It looks like a piece of art. It's ingenious. Look what they've done. But if we don't show it to people, everybody, does it really exist? It's kind of like if the tree falls in the forest and no one's there, right? Did it make a noise? Nah, I don't think so. Nobody was there. Same thing. The next thing I want us all to think about, your customer experience. So what I'm saying is, what is the service experience that you're delivering your customers? What is it? It is your brand to your customers. Now, to you, you may produce a product and go like the person that was doing the man lid. Oh, I'm doing the Mad Lid. We've done a great job. It's all great. And if customers get angry and our salespeople are nasty to them, who cares? No. That's not true. If your salespeople are nasty, your customers think your product and your brand is terrible. Because we, all of us, do not differentiate the difference. Walk into a car dealership. You've seen a wonderful commercial on TV. I can't wait to go test drive that car. You walk in, they go, hold on. We're not going to let you drive that car. Why? Well, we only have one of them here, and you're not going to sit in the seat. Okay, can you tell me about it? Go online and go read about it. And you walk out and you go, what? What are you going to say? Think about it. You're going to say, I'll never buy that product for the rest of my life. And I'm going to tell everybody else. Now, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. If you produce that product, you're thinking, wait a minute, I did a great job. Our customers do not distinguish between the customer experience we deliver and our brand. The next lesson, words create worlds. Okay, I have 2 kids. Many of you have children. Do you name your children child 1, child 2, and child 3? I see smiles. Okay, no. You name your daughter Laura. Well, why'd you name her Laura? Well, because my mother always wanted to be named Laura. Why'd you name your son Alan? Well, because Alan is a name that is my brother's name. And there's always a story. We create a world around why we name people. Well, it's the same thing on our product. That man lid, why wasn't it called safety lid or something that would make it sound exciting? So one day, Freightliner calls me up and says, hey, we've got a chassis. Now, it's a front engine diesel, okay? Now, I'm not technical at all. Normally, a diesel engine, folks, is at the back of the product or the back of the chassis. This is a front engine diesel, like a lot of cars that have gas engines. Okay, and you're going to go, who cares, right? No, there's a reason. All right. They said, we have this really great product. It's a front engine diesel. And I go, great. Who cares? And they go, oh, no, it's going to get better gas mileage. It's going to handle better. I said, okay, so what's the problem? Why call us up? And they go, well, we're not selling them. Nobody's buying them. We said, okay. Why? They go, we don't know. Well, we looked at their catalog, which was online as well as physical, and it was the 22407 chassis, right? Well, there was also a 22406, which was a gasoline engine. And there was a 22409, which was a gasoline engine. And there was a 22412, which was a bigger gasoline engine. It had no personality. And we said, you know what, though? It's a front engine diesel. Why don't we give it a name? Let's call it Fred. Fred for FR, front, E for engine, and D for diesel. Let's call it Fred. It's forward thinking. It changes everything. All of a sudden, Fred became the Kleenex of the industry. And competitors were getting upset because people would walk in and say, hey, do you have a Fred? And we go, no, we have a front engine. No, I want a Fred. It's the same thing as the iPod. One of the most important things I share, and you talk about Rotary and you want to help people, this is huge. Think about the companies that say, hey, we just put a lot of time and effort into this new product and we're letting the world know about it. And you forget to celebrate it with the most important people first. Your employees, the people who make it, design it, fix it, service it, sell it, represent it. They need to know why. Why did we build it? What does this do for people? How does it help? Why is it different than everything else out there? People need to know, everybody. We are in competition today, not just with the other companies, we're in competition with technology and AI. Those people right there, just like the people here on this webinar, we could all be replaced by technology at some point. People have to care. When we work with a company, one of the rules, and we say, if you work with us, you got to do this, and you have no choice. You must celebrate this with your employees first before you launch it to the world. And we've had people say, no, we don't care about our employees. They're making 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever it is, dollars an hour, depending on what era it was. They need to keep their head down and work. And we're going, no, they don't have to keep their head down and work because they can go leave and go anywhere they want. They need to know why we're doing this. They need to know that what they're doing is actually important. And if they do, they'll make sure that they produce the product really well. Otherwise, you're going to have a product that's filled with flaws. Celebrate with the most important people first. I was walking down the line of a manufacturer that produced ambulances. And I walked up to one guy and I go, "Hey, how are you doing?" He was a young guy. You know, I'm an old codger and he was probably 25. And he goes, "I'm doing okay." He said, "But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to leave here. I've been doing wire harnesses for a couple of years and I'm going to go down the road to a marshmallow factory." True story, marshmallow factory, for 25 cents an hour more. 25 cents. I said, "Oh." I said, "Now, all these ambulances that are going down the line," I said, "you realize that these ambulances will protect or sometimes save the lives of 10,000 individuals over their lifetime." And he goes, "Well, how's that work?" I go, "Well, you got the driver of the ambulance, you got one or two techs in there, and then you have the patient, as well as sometimes one or two family members inside the ambulance as it's going down the road with the sirens going. There are 4,300 ambulance fatalities a year. People in ambulances getting crashed into as they're going through, stoplights and everything else." And I said, that wire harness and the safety of your ambulance is helping people stay alive. And he said, "I always thought I was plugging in wire harnesses. I didn't think I was saving lives or nothing. I didn't think I was in the life-saving business." I said, "Well, maybe you are." Now, that young guy, all I know is he did not leave for 25 cents an hour. I think likely he made sure that his wire harnesses were plugged in really well. Probably wanted to make sure other people, when his product got to the line, were doing their job. Because come on, people, we're saving lives here. And I will not say to you that if he had been offered $5 more an hour, he would have stayed. But for 25 cents, it was worth it to him because he felt he was making a difference. It was differentiated to him. And the final thing I'll say for leaders is differentiation, everybody, takes courage. Okay? It takes courage. And one of our sayings is avoid the void. The president of Volkswagen of America called me up and he said, "I need you up here to talk to me. We have a disaster on our hands." And I said, "Well, what's going on?" And he said, "We have this no good, ugly car that nobody is buying. And we're going to replace it with a new model, but morale is terrible. I need you to help me. Come in tomorrow, fly in. I need your help." So before we did that, one of my people did some research and he handed it to me. So I showed up the next morning. President was there. He says, "I am so glad you're here. We have a disaster." And I said, "Hey, before we start, do you have any idea what is the number one selling car in your segment over the last 10 years? What's the number one selling car?" And he says, "I don't have the foggiest idea." I said, "Well, I do. It's that no good, ugly car that nobody's buying. It's your car. It's the number one selling car. And in the time it took me to tell you that, somebody just bought that car and thought it was the most beautiful car in the world." And he stopped because he's a great leader. And he said, "You know what? We have been denigrating that car for years." And he said, "No wonder morale is horrible. People have been ashamed." And he said, "Okay, from this point on, Yes, we're going to promote the brand new car, but we're going to celebrate and honor the success of the car we have. And he got up in front of all of his people and he told them that. So I'll conclude with this. Think about how you describe what you do, whether it's a service, I'm in the service industry. I don't produce a physical product, or whether you produce a service. Do you produce a service or a product? How do you describe it? And would you buy your own product or service? Do you give yourself credit for the differentiation you have? So the things I'll share in closing, number one, you don't need a brand new differentiation, folks. You already have it. It's in front of you. If you don't know what it is, get somebody to come in. Get somebody to look at it with fresh eyes. Realize that the way you treat your customers, everybody, please listen to me. It is your brand. It's you. It's your brand. You do a terrible job, your brand stinks. You do a great job. Oh, you guys are great. Great example is Amazon. They make it easy, right? They don't produce a product. They sell everybody else's product, but they make it easy for you. By the same token, most of us don't have trillions of dollars to put into that kind of automation. We have to treat customers really, really well. The next lesson we shared is words create worlds. Here are some words don't ever use. If someone says, hey, tell me about your company, you go, well, we're just, don't use just. Nobody wants to be a just company. Well, we're a local, don't talk about local. Well, we're another, no, you're not another. Think of the words you use to describe what you do. The next lesson we shared is celebrate with the most important people, your employees. And if you have dealers and distributors, they're next in line. And if you have loyal customers, they're right after that. Celebrate with them first before strangers learn of what you're doing. And the fact is, differentiation takes courage. Get up there, tell the truth, and share what goes on. So what I wanted to do today is to take you from why do we produce this? Why are we running a company like this? Why do we have this Manlid cover that we spent 3 years and $2 million on to, wow, look what we're doing. Look how we're making a difference. So I thank you, Rotarians, and I open it up to questions.
Still like to, can you name any of the songs that were on Bandstand? I thought it would be interesting. It was on Bandstand, so it had to have an audience.
Yeah, that song was called On a Night Like This. It's on, you can get it on YouTube. You can find the song On a Night Like This. My band was L'Above and Beyond. So it helps you remind yourself of the word L'Above, like above. Other questions? So, but thank you for hearkening back to my rock and roll days and when I had hair.
Any other questions, folks? All right. So, Mr. Berry, thank you very much for that presentation. It was amazing. You're welcome to stay for the rest of it. We're closing up pretty soon. So let me take control again.
Yeah, you take control. I'll stop sharing. And everybody, my name is Barry Labov. So it's B Labov. Okay, Barry Labov, Labov. I'm happy to connect with you on LinkedIn. My company's website is Labov, Labov.com. Feel free to reach out to me. Howard's been connecting with me over the last so many months. So great job, Howard. You're a rock star, Howard. Thank you. And if you have any interest in talking to me, I'm happy to be a friend. my company has 2 offices, one in Fort Wayne, Indiana, the other in another fort, Dallas, Fort Worth. So feel free to reach out to me, and I will let you go because I have a podcast I'm starting in 2 minutes.
Perfect.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You have a great
Thank
one.
you. Thank you.
Hi, y'all. Sorry I was late. I've been dealing with David.
Is everything okay?
Well, he sort of slid down and had to get him up a couple of times today. I don't know. His leg was a little weak.
Yeah.
But now I'm having to double pack for both of us, and we leave in the morning.
Well, is he going to be safe to go on the trip?
Well, the doctor says he will be if I stop every couple of hours and let him walk a little bit, stretch his leg. And anyway, but we're leaving.
Okay.
So, and then remind everybody of the installation in July.
Yes, I'll send that out.
Okay. And I've got it reserved, I think, from 4:30, something like that. I don't know what time we actually, but I figured to get there and get the
Set up and stuff. Yeah, that's a good idea.
check. And so anyway, you have the address I think I put out earlier.
Yes, ma'am.
And we were just there last week. So they have senior meals and they have regular meals, and they've been in business since 1966, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
And I've been eating there probably since they opened. So anyway, but we're making it. Hope y'all, if you haven't already responded, please let me know if you're coming to the wedding.
That's
Yes,
so
ma'am.
exciting. Congratulations.
If you will send me a text so I can get it down. Also, I had a call. Well, I just found that it was a WhatsApp, and the lady lives in Austin, but she is a friend of this guy in India that I met when we left from Hamburg, I think wherever the convention was in 2016 or 19 or whatever it was. Anyway, I met this gentleman, Rotarian from India, and he's in the #1 E-Club. And she was talking to him. He took what they call the orphanages. Anyway, they had 153 kids in there, and he got it down where they were all placed back with their families. And they're trying to do a global grant. They need 18,000. Any amount would be great. But if there's any way we could help participate in helping them clear out some other orphanages. So we might consider that. Even $100 would help.
I would say let's wait until the new Rotary year.
I just want to give you an idea what's going on. And
Perfect.
I will see you, and I'll see Howard Saturday, and I'll see Charlotte, I hope, on the 4th of July. And we're going to have a great
Just be safe.
and everything. So it'll be good to see everybody.
Okay, well, be safe.
Okay, and again, I apologize, but time got away from me today. So
No worries.
I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. So we're going to be doing our 4-way test. Joining and stating the 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is
Is
it
it
the truth?
Truth.
Second, is it fair
Is it
to
fair to
all
all
concerned?
concerned?
Third, will it build
Build
goodwill
goodwill
and
and
better
friendship.
friendships? Will it be beneficial to all
Beneficial to all
concerned?
concerned.
And fifth, will it be
Be
fun?
fun.
Fun.
Hey, I just noticed we had a
Right.
visitor, Edward Fowler. Is he still on the line?
Hi there.
I just
Hi,
seen him pop
Edward.
up. Okay, Mr. Edward. Yeah, we got to know you there.
How are you guys?
Everything is well. How long you been in?
Since about 5 after, or do you mean how long have I been in the Rotary?
Oh, no, in the meeting, because I should have highlighted you earlier.
Yeah, about 5 after.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We usually try to highlight our guests, but welcome. What did you think about our meeting?
I really like the speaker. You know, I always say that I kind of joke that you can have a fantastic product and terrible customer service and you'll fail. You can have a mediocre product and fantastic customer service and you'll succeed.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
And that's
totally correct about that.
kind of what he was saying. So I thought it was really good. Good reinforcement on everything.
Are you in Rotary?
I am in the noon Rotary.
Which one?
The noon Rotary.
Which noon Rotary?
Rockwall.
Oh, okay. Okay. And there was another gentleman on Mechi, M-E-C-H-I. Who is
That's
that?
me. No, that's me, Linda.
That's Mercedes.
Oh,
Yeah, it's me.
Mercedes.
I changed computers and I don't know what my son did, but he installed my software and everything. And
Mechi.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's my nickname. I need to have him change that. So
Okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
But yeah,
y'all-
Mr. Edwards, yeah, I would definitely let your people know that y'all stopped by, and I appreciate you joining us online.
Absolutely.
Because they did tell me to ask if you did come through, let them know, or any of your members come through, let them know.
Yeah, it was really good.
Well, thank you.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, folks, that's the end of our meeting. If y'all have anything else, please let us know. Y'all have a great one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Bye.